Hello, welcome back to Hunter Tune. Today we're going to be working on my buddy Roy's Buick Regal. This is a car that's been on and off the channel a couple times already, and he was one of my first customers actually that ever came to my shop, so I've been helping him out over the years, try to make this little Regal fly, and we did a lot of work to this car over the last couple months. We've been waiting on parts for a while. We've been pretty much redoing a lot of stuff that was in the car. We gutted a lot of weight out of it. This is a lot of the parts that we took out of this car. Just a bunch of extra weight, a bunch of extra wiring that wasn't needed. We took out the heater box and stuff like that, AC lines, a bunch of relays and stuff that just weren't being used, a bunch of stock wiring and stuff that wasn't being used. So I might insert a picture real quick of how the car's engine bay looked prior to us doing a lot of work, and then a picture after we cleaned it up. So we cleaned up a lot of stuff on this thing. There was a really big boost leak on it before, and it was going like, you know, bottom 10s in the quarter. It was on Mega Squirt ECU. So we couldn't really get a lot of data. We didn't really know how much boost the car was making, other than looking at the gauge while you're racing down the track and stuff like that. I wasn't able to show him how to log and stuff with the Mega Squirt that easily. But since then, he actually switched the car over to a Holly, and now with the Holly, he'll be able to take data logs and stuff way easier. It's literally as simple as hitting a button, hitting the start, or we can set it up on a trans brake to start logging or whatever. So we can get some real good data with this car now and hopefully get it flying down the racetrack. When he first dropped the car off, the alternator wasn't charging and it had 2 dead cylinders. So we got the alternator charging, the water pump was wrong, we fixed all that, and it has a set of Hunter Tune Bosch 210s in it now. It previously had a set of Bosch 210s, the LS3 height injector. I don't know about you guys, but I always seem to have issues with the shorter injectors. I don't know why, but the LS2 height injectors I haven't had issues with. So at least I haven't had any issues with them completely shutting off or not working at all like these ones were. This is like the 5th time I've seen the LS3 height Bosch 210 fail. Hence why I'm only selling LS2 height injectors. So just goes from experience with what I've seen failures with and what I haven't. That's all I'm basing this on. It could be a lot of other variables, but he kept getting fuel system or trash in the fuel system too, because the fuel pump actually used to be up in the trunk of this car. The fuel pump was mounted here. Actually, the mounting holes are right there. And it came off of the sump and came up to the fuel pump. That's an issue because inline Magna Fuel 4303 like this needs to have gravity feeding it fuel. It can suck fuel out of the tank and stuff like that, but it's just not good for it. And it sucks a lot of air with the fuel, and when it's sucking air, it can pull trash like out of the inside of the line, the inside of the tank, all that kind of stuff. So I switched up the fuel pump on this car, and we mounted it underneath, so now we have gravity off of the sump going to the filter and then to the pump, and then the feed line just goes up to the engine. So that's all fixed. This car runs a full 4-inch exhaust with a muffler. It's a street car, and it's got a VS Racing. I got this turbo for him. You guys can reach out to me if you need any turbochargers. I can get you a great price. Anything from vsracing.com or turboforless.com. This is a billet 80 millimeter. It is still a T4 turbo. Hot side and stuff on this car isn't the best. It's just a log, you know, running through both sides into one kind of thing. Sorry if the lighting's kind of shit right now, but yeah. Anyways, it's got a BTR intake, the 80 millimeter, and just an air-to-air 3-inch intercooler. So it's a pretty small intercooler on this thing, but hopefully it'll do okay. I want to make some good power with this thing, so we're going to get right into it. We also installed some CO2 on this car. Previously it was running just a 4-port Mac valve with the Mega Squirt, but he wanted to switch it out to CO2. So I put a CO2 system in this thing, and I just got it all working. I had 2 low-dollar sensors fail on me today, and my third one I got working. It's not a 0 to 100, it's only a 0 to 40 sensor, but it should still work, I hope. But the way that the CO2 was set up on it, you need a dome pressure sensor, like the low dollar 0 to 100 guys. They go into the top of the wastegate, and then the other port on the top of the wastegate is the CO2 feed line. I can kind of illustrate this of how I set my Mustang up. So you got the dome pressure sensor in the top of the wastegate. You also have the feed line off the CO2 solenoid going to the top of the wastegate. So you need 2 ports on the top of the wastegate in order to run CO2. Unfortunately, this precision wastegate that's on this car, it's a big 60mm precision, only has 1 port on the top of the gate. So what he did is he actually took a T and he put a T in the top of the wastegate. So here's the T that he was running. So the CO2 came in this side, and then the dome pressure was over here. Now anytime the dome pressure would hit in, it would shoot that CO2 directly at that sensor, and I think it kept killing them. Or maybe I just had 2 bad sensors, I don't know. But since then, I actually drilled the wastegate hat for a second hole, so they're not sharing the same hole for the CO2 feed and the dome pressure. They're separated. So I think that's a big thing on this, because I couldn't get the dome pressure sensors to last more than like 5 minutes. They would just shit out. So now, this one seems to be working good, and I'm finally gonna be able to hit this thing with some boost. It's got a really small wastegate spring in it, like a 4-pound wastegate spring. I think I made 460 or 70 horsepower on wastegate pressure, which is pretty decent. Not bad. Let's see here. We made 450 on gate. Here's our first pull. So not looking too bad, but I couldn't get any more boost out of it because the dome pressure, all that stuff was messed up. Now I got it working, and I figured I would just film this for you guys, and we'll see how much power we can make on this little Buick Regal. So we're gonna try 5 on the dome first, see how much boost we make. We'll check out the log, and we'll see, we'll just go up from there. Kind of hazing the wastegate, but it is working, so that's a plus. Hell yeah, 527 horsepower. So we picked up 80 wheel on 5 dome, and I only saw like 6 or 7 pounds. So I don't think we really made all that much more boost. Yeah, it was 7 pounds. 7 pounds and pretty flat boost curve. I only spun at about 6,200 RPM. So I'm gonna shoot right for 10. We'll see what 10 makes. Make sure our fueling and everything is all good. We'll shoot right for 10. All right, here's 10 on the dome. pick up that much boost. But it made more power, 600 horsepower. Just in the car, it just doesn't seem like it's picking up a lot. Went from 527 to 596. So I'm gonna check that log out, see how close we are, and whack it with 15. All right, so we're gonna be monitoring how much power this thing makes per dome pressure. So we went from it seems like every 5 pounds of dome pressure I'm adding to it, it's picking up about 70 to 80 horsepower. And we went from, we're gaining like 3 or 4 pounds of boost on each 5 pounds of dome. So here's 15. I'm expecting this to make right around 680 or so at like 13 pounds. So let's give it a go. Oh, did I not call that or what? Made 676. So another 5 dome, we should be at probably like 740 or so, maybe 750. This thing's running good. I like it. Horsepower. I was hoping for 750. We made 730. We're starting to get a little bit diminishing gain now with that 5 dome, which just means back pressure's on the way up. This does have a completely full exhaust, remember. So the last run we made like 12-ish pounds of boost. This one we made was 11.4 pounds, way up at the top on the last run. Let's take a look at this one. 14 pounds. And then way up here, 13, 14, so like 13.5 way up at the top end, and 14.4 at most. Our closed loop fueling is really good. And that's on 18 degrees of timing. This thing's running really good. Pretty happy so far. So 14 pounds, made 730 to the tire. That ain't nothing to sneeze at. That is nothing to sneeze at. So I'm gonna hit it with 30 on the dome, I think. Because I think that one was 25 or something. Let's see here, target was 20. So that was 20 on the dome on that one. I'll probably go 25 next. See if we can make 16 pounds or something like that. Maybe 17. And then I'm assuming 30 is gonna be right around 20 pounds, which would be cool. And we lost a belt. Damn it. All right, I got the belt back on, and we're gonna try 28 on the dome. lost the belt again. Gonna have to try to figure out a different tensioner. I think the tensioner on this, it's just sticking the belt too far out past the water pump and it's sliding off the water pump. So I think maybe just modifying that tensioner a little bit, sucking it in a little closer, or something should help out quite a bit, I'm hoping. So last run was 729 or 730. That one was 810 or 811. We'll see how much boost that was on. Looked like the boost gauge in the car was like 16, something like that. That was 28 on the dome. Came up 17.7 pounds. 17 pounds of boost. 17.7 peak. And our fueling is getting a little lean. You can see it's adding 4% here, so I think above like 15 pounds or so we might need a little bit of fuel. You know, 7,000 RPM, 19 degrees, and we chucked the belt. Oh damn. This is pretty much the reason on my Mustang, because I didn't want to worry about this shit at the racetrack all the time. My Mustang doesn't have a belt. It's got an electric water pump and doesn't even have an alternator. It's just got a big ass battery. It's kind of my reasoning for doing that, because I was sick of doing this all the time, flying the belts off of these things. When you start making big power, it wasn't flying the belt off at like, you know, even 680 horsepower, but now above 700 it's starting to throw the belt off. I really think this car is gonna fly now. Sorry, focus camera. Woo, there we go. I really think this car is gonna fly. Previous problems we had with this setup is, like I said, the hot side really isn't all that great. So it has a lot of back pressure in the hot side, I think. And it's taking a lot of dome pressure to keep the wastegate shut to make this kind of boost. 17 pounds, 28 pounds on the top of the wastegate. So that's, you know, it's just taking a lot of CO2 to keep the wastegate shut. And this thing would make boost before, but it was always like slowly building boost. It would never like come up on boost and stay. And now it's doing exactly that. It's coming right up on boost and it's locked in. You're getting boost the whole power curve. And that 811 horsepower we made literally is flatter than, man, it's flat. It looks really good. I'm gonna show you the run here on 811 horsepower. So the tach is like 1,000 RPM off. This is actually 7,500 right here and not 85. So, but you can see, I mean, we have usable power from 55 to 85. That's 3,000 RPM of usable power, which is pretty good. We want to make that power curve as wide as possible, and it's working really good. We just got to figure out this damn tensioner, and then maybe crank it up a little bit more. But I think she's pretty good for now. I'm gonna figure out a tensioner setup tomorrow, hopefully. Maybe just try to swap a different tensioner on it and see if that'll help. But yeah, thanks for watching the video, guys. Roy's Regal should be coming around and going pretty fast soon, I hope. And a lot safer than it was before. So have a great night and a better tomorrow. We'll see you later.